The Q. This is our weekly show where we talk about all the most interesting things that happen in the week in music. I'm Elaine Moran. It's awesome that way. Today I'm joined by Dan Brown. He's the host of Trending 10 weekdays on the Fuse Cable channel. And This is Katie Van Buren, the host of the Top 20 Countdown. Also on the Fuse Cable channel, which would make sense, right?
On Tuesdays at 9, 8 Central.
Well, thank you. Nice.
You're welcome.
And this show is called The Q. Here's why. Over here, we've got this rad piece of technology, you guys.
Whoa, look at that.
All you have to do is click on the story you want to go to, and you'll go directly to that section of the show where we talk about that story. Sounds good?
Sounds great.
Rad. Let's kick it off, though.
I'm super psyched about this.
I hope so, because I think this should be
Just putting that on the record there.
First off, Beyonce bans Bossy. This week, Beyonce appeared in a video for Facebook COO Sheryl Sandberg's Ban Bossy campaign. Sheryl Sandberg is the founder of the Lean In campaign, which encourages women to really take a seat at the table and lean into leadership in the workplace. And this section of it, the Ban Bossy campaign, is really for younger women and young girls to encourage everyone to stop using the word bossy as a way to belittle young women and discourage them from confident leadership. So Beyonce appeared in an ad for that, along with some other stars. Also this week, however, Beyonce's music and her video for Partition. You guys know what I'm talking about with this video. A lot of you watched it a lot of times. That video came under fire from one Bill O'Reilly.
Oh!
Yes.
I've heard of that guy.
Oh, I thought you might have.
He kind of sucks.
Who said, get right there, who said that Beyonce has, quote, an obligation to protect children and not to put out exploitative garbage. And he worried about the impression that she was giving to teenage girls, especially to young girls of color. We actually have a video of parts of the Ban Bossy campaign spliced with the Partition video that we juxtaposed together. Why don't you take a look at that?
This is Ban Bossy. Take one.
Pushy. Stubborn. Stubborn. Pushy. Pushy. Stubborn. Stubborn. Bossy. 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 Bossy.
Drive around at the partition, please.
I'm not bossy. I'm the boss.
Encourage girls to lead. Take the pledge at banbossy.com.
Well, I am both empowered and titillated right now.
Woo!
That's a good word.
I don't know about you.
It's a good
Thank
Scrabble
you.
word.
I just think that was clever juxtaposing with those edits right there.
I mean, the message of that was a little different than the original thing separately, but you see what we did there. So what do you think? Are these comments fair? Do you think Beyonce can be both a leader in the fight for gender equality and also produce these sexually charged music and videos?
I'm just confused as to what he means by exploitative. Like, who's she exploiting other than
herself in a
right?
sexy video.
You know, and like, how dare we indicate that it's okay for two married adults to have sex in the back of a car? Like,
I don't know. Like, I disagree. I went into listening to O'Reilly thinking, oh, what is this guy talking about? I don't know if I'm going to like what he's saying. But I listened to the whole interview, and I do think he kind of interrogated poor old Russell Simmons a bit too much. But I got his message. I completely agree. Like, if you look at Ban Bossy, a lot of the girls that are featuring in the kind of younger videos of it are maybe under 13. They're quite young. So they like what Beyonce says. They're like, Beyonce is like an idol of mine. I love how she's standing up for me. She's saying, Ban Bossy, I can be a leader. So they're like, I'm 10 years old, say, and I'm like, Beyonce's great. I'm going to research Beyonce now. I'm going to see what she's doing on YouTube. And then I come across Partition, and then I'm saying, this is a woman that I thought I could look up to or be a leader. I want to be just like her. And then I see her wearing this raunchy clothes, and I see her doing whatever in the back of a limo, which is what O'Reilly did talk about. And it's like, that leads me to believe that, do I think now that's cool? If Beyonce's the boss and she's doing this, is that cool? So you can't really overestimate the way children's minds work. Sometimes you can't underestimate them either, but I get what O'Reilly was saying completely.
I feel like the innuendo is probably going to be over the heads of a lot of these kids.
You mean the lyrical innuendo?
Well,
but it's
yeah,
all the visuals.
It's not innuendo, it's explicit in the video, but of course what the actions she's talking about are innuendo.
But I mean, even the actions might be a little lost on some kids, you know? Like,
no, I don't think so. I think like the kids probably won't listen to the lyrics, you're right. It might go over their heads, but kids are so visual. And I'm like, I'm not even kids, adults alike. People are visual people, and that's why she makes those videos, because they're incredibly visual. So they're just going to see her in these raunchy clothes, see what's happening in the back of a limo, see this woman they thought that was their idol, and maybe it's a bad message in a way.
It's an
like,
interesting juxtaposition of being like a role model for young people and also expressing one's sexuality. But I think that, personally, I think that it's actually like an important juxtaposition because, first of all, just to say this and get this out of the way, who is Bill O'Reilly to think he knows what impression girls of color need better than Beyonce? That said, let's just leave that alone. But, you know, I think that her music has given women permission to think about their sexuality in a different way. Adult women, obviously. I think that but here's why I think these two things go together. I think that irks Bill O'Reilly because he's not in control of women's sexuality, in this case, Beyonce's display of it, and he doesn't like that. So he tries to shame it by calling it exploitative, calling it garbage. Just like when men feel they want to control leadership roles and women are competition for that, they try to shame it by calling those girls bossy.
And what I will say,
for Beyonce to do both those things, that's why we need women like Beyonce to show everyone, to stand up and say, we have a right to this, to our sexuality, to leadership, and you can't take it from us, but you can be a part of it. You know what I mean? So while yes, little girls don't need to know exactly what some Monica Lewinsky all on someone's blouse means, they do need to see that they are owning their sexuality, not some man, like not some Bill O'Reilly. They own their sexuality, and it's their decision. You can't take it, you can be a part of it. They are enabled to have leadership roles. You can't take it, you can share it with me. You know what I mean? What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say that the Bossy campaign, like, for me personally, as a dude who only had brothers growing up, like, I was completely unaware that, like, that was even a thing, that the word bossy was even, like, a derogatory thing towards women. I mean, it makes perfect sense now that Beyonce has, like, pointed it out to me.
Yeah.
But I just never thought about it until, like, this week when I saw that video.
I don't think that anyone calls little boys bossy.
Well,
no,
never.
They don't, yeah.
So, good on you, Beyonce. Good on you, Condoleezza Rice. Good on you.
I think it's just maybe a matter of bad timing. Is it bad timing or hypocrisy on her side? Maybe it's like, I just think
this is when she's most visible. After this album drops, everybody's eyes are on Beyonce. Everybody's eyes are on Beyonce.
But it just crushed me with the band Bossy video to see such young girls involved in it. Like, they did the promo videos with girls that looked like they were like 11, 12, who obviously would idolize Beyonce in many ways after her being part of that again with them.
But don't you think that parents have the responsibility to be like, this sexuality is a thing and it's not for you now. But so maybe young girls view that sexual display as, that's not for me now, but it's something, you know.
Well, and meanwhile, we're not talking about, like, any rappers who have, like, scantily clad women, all like the Robin Thicke video.
Yeah, women aren't objects. It's Beyonce expressing sexuality her own way, not simply being an object in someone else's piece.
Right.
Anyway,
done.
This was a good talk, you guys.
Good talk.
Good talk, good talk.
What's next, Elaine?
Let's move on. Oh, actually, before we do, though, I want to talk to you guys about this. What do you think? This is, every week we want to ask the readers a question about this. Do you think that Beyonce can have it all? Can she have it both ways? Let us know. We'll talk about it next week. All right, let's move on, though, okay? So Lily Allen. Lily Allen's new video for Our Time came out this week. It's the third video. It's actually the fourth single off of her upcoming album, Sheezus. That'll be out in May. You can check out the video, Our Time, on Fuse.tv. Watch it there. See what people have said about it. Interestingly, she also said on Twitter that she thinks her new songs might be rubbish, as she puts it. Here's what I mean. A fan tweeted that Lily's songs, her new songs, are docile pop rubbish, which is a very British way of saying
docile.
Of saying you're crap. Rather than like defend herself though, or ignore it like most people would, she kind of agreed with them. She said, "What you've heard so far, yes. All I can do is do my best. The labels and radio stations won't play the better stuff." So when I saw that, I thought, is she just agreeing to like shield herself from more criticism, or does she really think that her songs are crap?
I think it's easy to overanalyze this sort of thing because, you know, if someone's hating on Twitter, I mean, the individuals matter when you're dealing with like a social web of fans. And so I think she's really just trying to win this one person back. And whether or not she actually thinks that her singles are rubbish.
But at the expense of slamming the label and slamming the radio stations before dropping an album, is that wise?
Yeah, she's kind of sending mixed messages here. It's kind of confusing. You have to parse a lot of different
things.
Well,
the fan did tweet back then after Lily tweeted at him saying, like, agreeing with him, something like, oh, something along the lines of like fair dues, and like then encouraged her. So in a way, is Lily so
exchange I've ever witnessed.
Is Lily so trained with this kind of Twitter like interaction that she knows that if she kind of agrees and steps down, will they then come back being like, oh, sorry, you're right, and almost back off their accusation that they made? But also on that point, Lily is notorious and has a background in just speaking her mind. Like, she has a whole song called Alfie that's about her younger brother, Alfie Allen, in his bedroom taking drugs. Yep. You know, she just verbal diarrhea, like
Allen
verbal
spews.
Game of
Thrones,
exactly, and he's fine, not taking drugs.
He is Theon Greyjoy.
Oh.
Yeah.
And has a really hot girlfriend, Jamie Winston. So Alfie's doing fine. Alfie's doing fine. He's not in his bedroom anymore.
But that is not an excuse.
Awesome. But that's part of, I think, who Lily Allen is. Like, she's had Twitter beefs with Azealia Banks. She's had beefs with Katy Perry. She speaks her mind, and I think that's part of her thing. You know, she
totally
doesn't care.
But I feel like, honestly, at this point, I feel like that's kind of to her detriment. I love Lily Allen because she does seem to like sort of speak truth to power. But lately, I'm concerned about her because she can't seem to keep her mouth shut. First of all, to actually address whether the songs are crap.
Rubbish.
I almost threw up watching the air balloon video from the dizziness because of the spinning. But the song to me sounds like MIA like threw it in her dumpster behind her studio, and then Lily's people went running through and were like, oh, this is good enough. And then Our Time, the new video, like, I'm tired of slow pop jams about partying. Like it worked for Miley Cyrus with We Can't Stop.
Yeah, but they can't stop making those.
But they can't
see what I
stop
did there?
them.
This is a joke about the song title.
I with her video for our time, I was disgruntled by the lyrics of it because it's not just like a party video or a party song. It really is like very much endorsing just going out, getting drunk, just getting completely sloshed,
like if it's
and like
party,
vomiting, and it just.
If it's a party for like Scissor, I can understand like a slow, depressing party, but like party jam, but like why is it like on Benadryl? I don't.
Let's not do barbiturates, kids.
Let's keep those. And I don't know. Maybe I was mad at Lily because she. I also thought that she was kind of to go back to what we were talking about Beyonce. I also thought that she was kind of like a feminist leader because she had Heart Out Here, which I think the video missed the point, but the ideas were kind of right. Because she, last week she was a guest editor for Shortlist, and she said like feminism there's no need for it. Sexism is dead. And she was like, women's worst enemies are themselves because we compete with each other over like being beautiful or something. Which to me, Lily, like, if you think sexism is dead, I guess watch our Beyonce section. And also, I think that having problems with competition with other women, that's not necessarily only a Lily problem. It's actually a sexism problem because like that's where women are made to feel like their value lies is like in this beauty. Like if you think about that a little longer, maybe you wouldn't be saying that stuff.
I liked that she said that though.
Really? Because
I kind of like that she really pointed that out. If you think about like something as simple as a phrase such as "you skinny cow" has become a compliment. So it's almost like girls. Yeah, in England, where Lily is from, is like, "Oh, you're looking great, you big skinny cow." So it's like girls. It's like a compliment shielded by almost like bitchiness between women. Yeah, it's like so she's basically saying how we are each other's enemies. It's the competition. It is.
Why?
Because if you look at the likes of so take Kesha for example, she used to be the hardcore party animal, a songwriter and performer. So she did all the crazy stuff, wore all the crazy clothes, and then one day Miley Cyrus decides to come and almost steal her thunder and like stick her tongue out on stage.
But what industry says there can only be one woman at the top? What industry? What makes that happen? Sexism.
Boom.
Mic dropped. All right, let's move on to our next topic.
Great.
Which is Bieber Watch.
Hey.
Every week we got it.
There's that guy.
We had one of these in because he just can't, he won't stop, like Miley said. He's had a really busy week. He performed at South by Southwest. He released an Instagram video of himself dancing with Selena Gomez.
Is that what you call it?
Of course, his deposition.
Jeez.
I'm talking about this deposition is for the case where a paparazzo alleged that Bieber instructed his bodyguards to assault the paparazzo and steal his equipment, not the limo driver assault allegations or the drunk driving arrest. So this is yet another legal case. In the deposition, he point blank refused to discuss Selena. The Instagram video of them dancing sensuously together came out.
Well, and how is Selena even relevant in the deposition, though?
It was because he wants to know if they discussed paparazzi together.
Oh, well.
And evidently in a deposition, you can ask almost anything,
okay.
it seems, even whether it's reasonable.
We
asked our lawyer about that, and he was like, no, it's totally fine to ask anything.
I've never been depositioned. Is he required to like answer whatever they ask, or can he plead the fifth?
He is not really required. People actually, the lawyer said something interesting that this is not even the wildest deposition he'd seen, which I thought was crazy because Bieber is on his sassiest behavior, right?
Yeah.
He was like, well, it's not even the goal of the deposition for the person in Bieber's position is to seem agreeable and reliable. And Bieber certainly didn't do that.
No, I was astounded by it. Like, so this time last week, I was like standing up for Bieber. I was like, give Bieber a chance, to pick up the pieces. But I watched that and I could not believe how he was, like, purposely having an attitude. Like, whatever, the kind of wink into camera, like giving out to the guy, the other lawyer, and like having such sass with him about the whole kind of film statement. What do you mean? Is that a film? Are you calling this a film? Like everything he was doing.
Yeah, he said he
was
didn't know Usher because the guy called him Raymond Usher.
And then when he said. And then when he said, do you know a singer-songwriter called Usher, he goes, I guess he sounds familiar. Like, complete and utter teenage attitude. Totally. So I think Bieber made the wrong choice with that. But at the same time, some of the questions did seem a bit unnecessary that were being thrown at him.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid clearly thinks he's invincible, and maybe what he needs is a day in jail to, understand that he's not, that he is subject to the law just like anyone else.
Do you think that would change him? He's so insouciant, so insolent. He's just like...
I think if he and Selena actually were back together, and if that is true, I will be secretly so happy, and I think that might help him out a bit. I think it will ground him, and they were so lovely together, and she seems to have her head screwed on her shoulders a bit, and it would be a happy romance back together. And I was delighted when I saw that video. I am.
Delighted?
I felt
it was
really sexy and nice.
Embarrassment I've ever felt in my life watching that video.
Why?
It was like I know they're both in their early 20s, like he's 20, she's 21. But like they have they have baby faces, okay? And I think that's their downfall because watching it felt like two high school kids trying to like play act at being sexy, and it was so embarrassing and just so.
I felt the opposite. I was like, yes, victory finally. Maybe are they back together?
I couldn't cringe harder.
I'm just trying really hard to not care about this at all.
And
like,
are you
Selena? I don't know. I'm trying.
I don't even know.
I'm like paid to care about it, but just like. Justin Bieber.
I can't believe how much I do care. Like when I saw the videos of Selena and Bieber, I was like, oh,
wait,
stop! Oh my god.
So you think Selena's good for him, but do you think it's good for Selena?
I think it could help her career a little bit.
I think if they
because
don't
she's trying to go on the kind of raunchy side, you know, trying to branch out a bit.
I think that if they don't start looking like adults soon, because, you know, Selena's trying to pull this sexy act and so is Bieber. If they don't stop having baby faces, we're going to have a problem.
But we think they have baby faces because we're older than them. Most of their fans are younger than them. Maybe they don't think
like
so,
Cody
you know?
Simpson, very young, doesn't have a baby face.
But we think that because we are more adults.
Demi Lovato, she looks adult too.
But their younger fans probably look up to them as if they look older as well. Like, it's like their fan base is younger than them. So I don't know if their fans think they have baby faces. Do you know?
That's interesting. Do they have baby faces?
Let us know.
Let me know. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right.
I'm going to hold on to that for a while.
Let's move on. Neil Young and Pono. So Neil Young started a Kickstarter this week for a new digital music service called Pono Music and also the player device that goes along with this. He surpassed his goal of $80,000 in less than 10 hours with this Kickstarter. Basically, the point of this, he says that the player and the type of files bring music to life in the way the artist intended it. It sounds more like it did in the studio. Kind of the way that that it has a fuller sound, kind of like what people say about vinyl. Interestingly, he said also, Pono is Hawaiian for righteous. What righteous means to our founder, Neil Young, is honoring the artist's intention and the soul of music. That's why he's been on a quest for a few years now to revive the magic that has been squeezed out of digital music.
Go Neil Young.
He says it has about 6 times more musical information than a typical MP3 at its lowest quality. Pono Music, and with ultra high quality resolution recordings, it's about 30 times more data that you're listening to.
I mean, the human ear can only perceive so much fidelity, but there is something to be said for what he's arguing. MP3s really are very compressed, and sometimes, I mean, it often depends on what sort of headphones you have too. Like if you're listening to earbuds, the actual like bass waveform is bigger than the earbud can even pump out. So yeah, we're dealing with.
But do we need another device to play this?
Well, if you're a true audiophile, I think you do. If you really care about that sort of thing, but you can reach a point too where it becomes kind of like placebo effect. You know?
Yeah, somebody says it's so good and you start to feel it.
I went into this hoping that I wouldn't like what I read. So I researched it and I was like, oh my God, it's actually pretty amazing what he's doing. It's like, it's about the whole kind of emotional, the whole soul of music, being able to have that re-engage with the listener again. And like, if you think about it, if you're the type of person who listens to a song and gets a lot out of it, gets a lot of soul out of it, gets a lot of, you know, anything, it just, I feel, it's an astounding idea because like it's going to just reconnect the listener, reconnect them with the music, and then even for the musician themselves, it's so encouraging for them because then they know that the listener is hearing their song exactly as they intended. So, and what are they going to cost? Like $400? Yeah, I might actually invest.
It's $3.99. They're not out yet, but I really wish we had. I mean, there are some prototypes out that were incentives for contributing to this Kickstarter. I really wish we had one because if it really is that incredible, it would be interesting to see, but if not, I think it would be tough to buy it. The thing that, here it is, okay? The player looks like a combination of like a Walkman Sport made with a classic iPad. It's certainly not like cool looking necessarily. It's very much like your original Shuffle.
It looks like a craftsman tool of some sort. It looks like it belongs in like a toolbox next to a grill or something.
Looks like a Toblerone chocolate bar.
But wouldn't it be amazing if somebody, okay, so Neil Young is talking about listening to music the way that it was recorded in a studio, the way that you might hear it on vinyl, because he is a legend of the classic rock era. The music we listen to now is almost made to be listened to on MP3s. It's a little different, but wouldn't it be incredible if like this classic, I don't want to say old-timey, because that sounds like we're talking about the Old West, but like a classic music artist was actually the one to revolutionize the way that we listen to music. It would be surprising.
I don't want to burst the bubble here, but I don't think this is revolutionary. I think it's maybe a good first step, maybe a proof of concept, but I don't think we're going to see anything have a huge amount of market penetration when it comes to lossless audio files until it can actually fit in a smartphone. I don't think people want to carry around a separate device.
They tried to put it in the smartphone, but then there was some reason why it wasn't going to
like the files are huge. The files are super huge. But we will reach a point when smartphones have the RAM, have the memory to basically have lossless audio.
And I think that would be ideal because people really like having everything in one place. You know, would you really carry around a second thing to listen to music?
I would, because it's just, at first I thought you were only going to be able to listen to like Pono music on it, but the fact that you can download all your own music on the device and have the Pono music, so the idea...
it's not going to sound...
But that's the exciting part. So the exciting part is having your own music on the device. La la la, I'm listening to whoever, Miley Cyrus, I'm listening to Bon Iver. Suddenly you have like another song that is Pono music on that comes on right next, like Sigur Rós, say, Pono music, Sigur Rós, and it would blow your mind. So that's the excitement, and apparently like a little light flashes when it's a Pono song, and to be able to listen to them and have them juxtaposed beside each other, that's what I think is going to be amazing. Just when we can really hear the rawness, and then that's when you can hear the soul in the song, when you hear songs that are lacking it.
What about the fact that he's Kickstarter? Do you think that he exceeded his goal so quickly because he's Neil Young and he has rich friends? Or he had these cool incentives, like he had like, you know, you could get an autographed player or like a listening party with Neil Young himself, or like Arcade Fire signed. That's
if you donate 5,000, listening party with
So do you think that like that the incentives or the fact that he has rich friends did it, or think that people that actually people besides us are really interested in this?
I think it indicates there's a niche market for this, but I don't think it's like a mass market thing. I mean, that's what Kickstarter is really great for, finding holes in capitalism, vacuums where there needs to be a new product, and reaching the people directly who want to fill that vacuum.
Yeah.
So that's what I think happened.
All right, well, good luck, Neil Young and Pono music. It's very interesting. All right, so let's move on to our final segment, viewer comments. We're going to talk a little bit about what you guys had to say last week. Last week, our comments veered towards Schoolboy Q discussing his drug use, and Two Phone Shouty said, he's not even that addicted. He said he quit making the album, so it's clear he can quit. Well, Two Phone Shouty, is that like being not that pregnant? Being not that addicted? Because I feel like you're either addicted or you're not. That's just my opinion. Also, I think that every addict says, like, oh, I can quit whenever I want. So, I don't know. Two Phone Shouty. All right. Skunk DNB said, everyone needs to get the F off his back. Let the man do what he wants. Y'all are acting like he's the first rapper to do drugs. Which...
Says username Skunk.
Skunk DNB. Okay, yeah.
Dave and Buster's.
That's fair, I suppose. All right, so but this week, our question, again, can Beyonce have it all? Can she be a leader in the fight for gender equality and also produce these sexually charged music and music videos? Let us know so that we can read your comment next week and hopefully not go as hard on it as I went on Two Phone Shouty just now. All right, awesome. That's that. Be sure to check out Mr. Dan Brown here on Trending 10 every weekday on the Fuse Cable channel, and also Katie Van Buren on the Top 20 Countdown. And for more info on any of the stories we talked today, head on over to Fuse.tv. There's lots of coverage there. You can watch videos, etc. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.